Secrets of Coins, revealing the rare coins in history, disclosed.
1924, a time when America was roaring through the Jazz Age. Prosperity was booming, and silent films were giving way to talkies. But deep in Denver, the U.S. Mint quietly struck a small copper coin that today could be worth thousands of dollars. The 1924 D, Lincoln Wheat Cent. Support our effort, subscribe, like, and share so that we can bring you more amazing stories about rare and valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Now, let's uncover the full story behind this historic penny, a coin that tells the tale of American resilience and rarity. The 1924 D, Lincoln Cent is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing 3.11 grams and measuring 19 millimeters in diameter. It was struck at the Denver Mint, which at the time was producing far fewer coins than Philadelphia. That D mint mark just below the date is your clue, and it makes all the difference when it comes to value. Only about 252 million of these pennies were minted in 1924, a small number compared to the hundreds of millions minted in later decades. And because most were heavily used in circulation during the Great Depression, surviving examples in top condition are extremely scarce today. Let's talk about what collectors crave most: condition. Most 1924 D cents show heavy wear, weak strikes, and blotchy surfaces because the dies used at the Denver Mint were worn out. Finding one with a strong strike and full details on Lincoln's beard or the wheat stalks on the reverse is like striking gold. In average circulated condition, a 1924 D penny might sell for $40 to $75. But when you get into higher grades, the numbers climb fast. A 1924 D in extremely fine XF condition can fetch $30 to $250. In AU almost uncirculated grades, prices jump to $350 to $600. Mint state coins, especially those with bright red luster, are where things get exciting. An MS-63 red brown can sell for $200 to $2,500.
An MS-65 red might bring $7,500.
And one of the finest known MS-66 red examples sold for an incredible $36,000 at auction. Imagine, a 1-cent coin struck a century ago now worth more than a new car. Now let's look at errors and varieties that make this coin even more fascinating. Some 1924 D cents show repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D was punched more than once at slightly different angles. These can increase value dramatically depending on how visible the doubling is. A clear RPM might add several $100s to the price tag. There are also die cracks, lamination errors, and weak strikes that collectors look for. Weak strike coins, oddly enough, can sometimes be desirable because they highlight the poor quality control at Denver that year. Is a quirk of minting history. But to understand why this coin is so coveted, we have to look at the bigger picture. America in 1924. The country was recovering from World War I, industries were booming, and coins like the 1924 D were part of everyday life in a growing economy. The average wage was just 56 cents per hour, meaning a single penny still had real purchasing power. But few could imagine that this humble cent would one day become a collector's prize. The design itself, Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, framed by the words "In God We Trust," liberty, and the year, has become one of the most enduring in American history. On the reverse, 2 simple wheat stalks surround 1 cent and United States of America, a nod to America's agricultural roots. This coin, like many from the early 20th century, connects us to a simpler but powerful era, a time when every coin was struck with care and circulated through the hands of Americans building a modern nation. Now, if you're wondering how to find one, it's not impossible. They sometimes appear in old coin collections, inherited estates, or boxes of wheat pennies passed down through generations. Metal detectorists and roll hunters occasionally find heavily worn examples too. If you think you've found a 1924 D penny, the first thing to check is that small D mint mark below the date. Make sure it's genuine, because this coin is frequently counterfeited. Some forgers add a fake D to a 1924 Philadelphia penny, hoping to fool collectors. under magnification. Genuine mint marks will look cleanly struck and perfectly aligned, while fakes often appear etched or added later. Once verified, handle it carefully. Never clean or polish it, as that can instantly destroy its value. Place it in a protective holder and get it authenticated by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let's talk about selling. If you have a common circulated example, you can sell it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, where collectors love to fill holes in their Lincoln sets. But if you've got a high-grade or error coin, your best bet is a professional auction house like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or Great Collections, where rare 1924D cents have fetched thousands of dollars under the spotlight. What makes the 1924D Lincoln cent so loved isn't just its value, it's its survival story. Struck in an era of worn dies and economic change, most of these coins were lost to circulation, melted or damaged. The few that remain in pristine condition are like time capsules, copper witnesses to an age long gone. So next time you come across an old wheat penny, flip it over and check that mint mark. If it's a D and the date reads 1924, you might just be holding a tiny piece of American history worth a fortune. Support our effort, subscribe, like, and share so we can continue uncovering these amazing coin stories for you. Because behind every penny, there's a story of rarity, beauty, and a hidden legacy waiting to be rediscovered.